Hello again. So I'm doing this video quite early for me because it's 3:30 in the afternoon now, and normally it takes me until 9 or 10 to actually end up with the video uploaded to YouTube. So filming and then actually uploading, which can take a while because it's just off my phone, which I always mention, it's just me with my phone. Um, but today I'm going to talk about what I mentioned in my last video, which I remembered in that video I mentioned in the video before that I was going to talk about. So you can clearly see how unplanned this channel is. But that's the thing, obviously I'm here at university, I've mentioned this 1,000 times. This is just me. I said the phrase riffing off, which I'm pretty sure riffing is just like, if you have a riff, it's just you're rambling. And I say rambling a lot, which I need to get out the habit of saying words continuously because I've got a way better vocabulary than that and I need to showcase it, which I just have the word showcase. And so today I'm going to talk about how I'm a university student, I'm doing study and stuff, which I've always mentioned, and this might apply to you if you're also a university student or a school student, but it tends to be if you're a school student, you do all your work in class. Yeah, you get homework, but you get set it as work. But whereas in university, it's all on you to do it, which obviously makes sense. It's a win-win. You're paying for it. You may as well do it. But what happened with me very recently is I ended up behind on work, and this has sort of happened twice, and I guess never before, because obviously this year is where there's no classes and stuff, so I'd go into classes, but now it's all online and stuff. So all the Open University students are laughing because they do that normally. In fact, that's given me a good idea for a TikTok that I need to make, so I was going to make that as like a little meme. And so falling behind, and I remember I was doing this one piece of coursework where obviously as a maths student, our coursework for university is literally the same as maths in school but with a different levels. So you literally just get questions. Instead of it being like simple addition, like 1 + 1 = 2, it'll be like, prove that this thingy is that and whatever. And as I've just mentioned, as I mentioned in one of my TikToks, because I just tried to randomly provide a maths question, it was really hard. But one of my friends actually had a bit of a cheeky go at me because I did like a comedy video where I was trying to, in fact, I uploaded it here to YouTube as well. It's the one where I'm talking about the T problem and I'm writing like mathematical equations, one hand behind my back on my window, for instance, which is what I'm looking at now, and also my mirror. But I went from the mirror to the window to make it seem like I was like, no, I need a bigger workspace. And so I went to the mirror, the window from the mirror, sorry. And the point that I made with that is that because he jokingly said, oh, is this your dissertation work? I said, well, I was actually writing down my dissertation work. And, well, here's the good point. The good point was, in terms of a cinematographically way, in a filmmaking way, was that because I knew what I was writing, because it's the equations already existed from what I'm doing in my dissertation, so obviously no one's going to zoom in on what the equations are and then be like, that doesn't apply to a cup of tea. So I just did that, and then obviously that's what I've just shown now on this massive tangent, that obviously I just tried to say a random maths question and just couldn't do it. But if I could read off it, then it would work. Like I could read off one of my actual questions now, but I don't know, I just don't want to because it'd be a bit too, oh, well, how are you going to do that then, or whatever, I don't know. It's just a bit GDPR-y, I guess, isn't it? And so I was doing a piece of coursework, and obviously, as I've just mentioned, with that massive long tangent, it's literally just you get a question and you've got to use maths to solve it. It's not like, we do actually have some report ones set, but a lot of the time, all our courseworks and our exams, for instance, as well, exams is a big point, is exactly the same as maths in primary school, I guess, and high school, because it's literally just you get a question. Instead of 1 + 1 = 2, you get, and I'm not going to do this tangent again, but you get like a harder maths question, and it'll be like 10 marks, because you've got to have all the steps, and if you miss a step, you miss a mark, I guess. And so I was doing a piece of coursework, and obviously I wasted my time, I guess you should say. It just flew by. Like I can see it now on my board here behind the iPhone, that it was in for the 3rd of December. And I just remember thinking like, oh, I've got a month to do that, it's fine, I'll get done. And then obviously, if you're at university, you know exactly what I'm going to say. And then it goes to 2 weeks, and then it goes to a week, and then it's like 2 days. And in 2 days is when it really set in that I had to do it. Not necessarily like the last day, because I knew that it was even harder. So my sort of last day pressure was over 2 days. But the weird thing is that, and I mentioned in the video that I uploaded 2 videos ago, hence why I said that in the last video, I remembered that I was gonna, well, in the last video I made, I remembered that in the video before that, I said that for the next video, I was gonna make this video. But then I just made another little video, and then so now I can make it here as well, which is another good point that I've said if you're a content creator. And obviously I say this all the time, I've only got 26 subscribers. I'm at 27 now, I've not actually checked. But if you let me give out advice, you might like it. That if you're a content creator and you've got loads of ideas, then if you think of one straight away and you put it in, it's not going to harm you. If anything, it just gives you more spare backup ideas to do. For instance, you don't want to get to one YouTube video and be like, okay, what am I going to do? And which, if I'm doing daily videos, which I am, which you can see from my YouTube channel, then it's going to get really hard if you don't have like backup ideas or like a surplus of ideas. And quick note, like that, I don't think I've mentioned enough, but the whole point of doing the daily videos, I've mentioned that, especially in my last video, I mentioned that it's a really good outlet for me to be productive and explain things to sort of a non-entity, especially while I've got like no subscribers. But, well, I don't have no subscribers, but it's just me talking to my camera at this point, basically. But there's another point, which was the fact that if I want to actually grow my YouTube channel, for instance, I've mentioned loads of times that I've got a TikTok account, which actually yesterday I hit 15,000 followers on. So I was supposed to be one of those like party popper things that you blow into, and it doesn't matter. But yeah, so I've got quite a decent following on that. And you see a lot of people on TikTok, which nobody likes to mention, but, well, it's not worth mentioning, but they're TikTok creators. And obviously they have their YouTube linked, just because they know that YouTube is like a place where, you know, if you've got more YouTube followers than TikTok followers, you're more relevant. Like if you're someone with more YouTube subscribers than TikTok followers is more relevant by far. That's easy. Like, and so they link in their YouTube to get people to go to it. But the thing is as soon as they click YouTube and then they see that you've uploaded no videos, or like one video like 2 years ago, they're not going to care about your channel. They know that you're not a YouTuber, you don't do that. And then so it's useful for me to make these videos to sort of actually put the content out there. And very recently, like, I decided that it's easy for me to do that just by doing this, and it's something that I enjoy, and it's probably good for me, as I mentioned in the last one with the whole, you know, video diary sort of aspect of it. But so enough about the YouTube and stuff. I'm getting off topic here. If you're still watching and you came for the fact that the video is titled like University Help or something, thank you for still watching if you're here. I'm going to get to the point now. And so that piece of coursework, I was behind. And I had like 2 days to do it. And I was effectively starting from like ground zero. And I did mention this in a video a couple of days ago, but I'm forgetting about that because that will get me on another tangent. Which I'm getting on a tangent about tangents right now. And you can see why these videos end up like 40 minutes long. It's not like the jump cut with good information. It's just me just talking. So if I do find subscribers that find this interesting, then, you know, were golden. But so I had 2 days to do it, and when I started it, I was just like, God, this is gonna. Well, I just started it, right? I just went for it. You know, I was head down. I had the lo-fi hip hop study beats playlist on YouTube going. I was in the moment, and it got sort of like harder and harder the more I realized I had to do. And so the harder and harder it got, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. Like, I'm not gonna be able to do this. And so I think before those 2 days started, I was sort of worried about doing it because I was like, oh my God, I'm actually not going to be able to do it. But then there came a point in like over those 2 days where because I was just going at it and just doing it and looking at notes and seeing what applies to it. And this is a very, I guess, STEM point of view, like a mathematical point of view, because we have to use the tools that are mathematics. Whereas I'll talk about in a bit, it can apply to other subjects, because I have written like essays and stuff from a sort of, I guess they're quite literary, and I've had to like, you know, obviously quote people and stuff and talk about things. Basically, I was just blasting out on my keyboard like an essay. But I'll say how that applies to it now, because if you're someone who has to make an essay, you just go for it straight away. Maybe you just type everything out straight away, whatever comes through your mind, put it onto the computer, and then fine comb it later and actually make it like a proper piece of work. But with the maths point of view, it was like, I'm looking at all my notes, I know the tools, but I just can't quite get there. But then the more I like looked at it, and then, you know, certain things over time, it's just the probability, sort of then happen to work. And then the more I finally do, it like, I don't know how I'd graph this, but then I get better and I'm like, oh, if I just had more time. And that's the point. I remember thinking specifically, if I'd started this piece of work like a week ago, I'd get like 95 on this because it was easy. And I feel like now I'm going to get like 65. Well, I was going to say 65, 70 at push, just because I'd like to have that hope that I get first in it. But I guess I'm going to have to do well in the exam to get the first, just put it over that edge of the first. But if you do better in a coursework that's like 25%, and which I'm now saying was really easy, then it's obvious that if that was really easy, if I get 100% the 25%, then the 75% exam is a lot easier. And see, the thing is, I'm explaining this now, like I understand it. But for instance, all the friends I've had who have now graduated, because I did a year abroad, so they were the year above, I guess, now. But we started in the same year. So I did my year abroad when they were doing their third year. And they all know that, because they're really good at studying and stuff, and they just do their work like as soon as they get it. But I just don't really work in the same way. But in the sort of learn from my mistakes way, like, I'm not saying I've made mistakes now and my degree's like completely in the pot, but I'm still learning, I guess, and like everyone is still learning, and you know, no one's perfect. But the point was, if you haven't got it already, and already this video is going to be like 15 minutes long, once again, check if it is 15 minutes long by this point, because that's always interesting to me. One time I got it bang on. I didn't check the last one, actually. But just keep going for it. Like, if it looks like you're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do, just keep going. Just fake it until you make it, in a way. And I have a love-hate relationship with fake it until you make it, because it doesn't really make sense. You've got to like, well, it clearly does make sense, because a lot of people say it. And for instance, if you're doing YouTube, you know, like, you should always be making videos as if you've got 1 million subscribers. Like, I should be talking to an audience of people now that effectively don't exist, but like they are 1 million subscribers. There's no telling that in the future I do have more subscribers, and they look back on these videos and think, wow, this is actually really interesting. Like, it's well, I don't think they'd say it's surprising it doesn't have more followers, because it's literally just a raw footage video off my iPhone. But that's the point. You've got to like fake it until you make it. And then so that's why I think I said this to one of my parents recently. I was like, you know, like if you make YouTube videos like you've got 0 subscribers at 0 subscribers, you are gonna stay on 0 subscribers. You have to put the effort in, I guess. And so it's just, it doesn't really apply to university. I've sort of messed this video up, but like I've said before in previous videos, and I guess in all my videos, I sort of try to give out advice with this whole YouTube sort of thing, which I can only rely on my TikTok as being the one thing on my CV for showing that I know I can make it work. But obviously on my YouTube, I've got like nothing. But obviously YouTube's completely different to TikTok, and it's why I prefer TikTok, because you can just grow like that based off the videos. But obviously YouTube, you really do just have to ride the wave. You've got to get the subscribers, keep getting the subscribers, and that's probably why it matters more that if you've got more YouTube subscribers, because you can't just get them like that. Yeah, and I think I'll just leave this one here. Oh, well, what I was going to say is, obviously, with that advice, and obviously I caught myself on another tangent, but with that advice is how I can always make this video again and maybe sit down and plan it. Say if I've not got university work to do, for instance, I've got a lecture in 20 minutes, and I'm sat here doing this. But if I have more time, I can really like plan out the certain points, you know, like all these YouTubers make like their 40-minute documentaries, like iDubbbz' Full Force and his one on the Ice Cream Man. But there's a lot of people who make sort of YouTube documentaries, but mainly they're in that category. Like the YouTube documentaries are a subset of the YouTube videos that are like longer and have more effort in them, as opposed to like a vlog that's its own section, I guess. And then you've got just funny sketches as well and what have you. But yeah, I can always make this video again, as with all the videos that I've already put up, because they're actually there for me to still have those ideas. And obviously people aren't seeing them right now, but then hopefully in the future I can upload them in a place where they will get seen. And then that will make me happy, because I really like these ideas and want people to be able to see them. So I'm going to end it now because I've rambled on way too long. But to summarise, just do it. Keep doing the work. Even if it looks like... this is another important point I need to put in. If you feel like you can't do it, just go, it's okay that I can't do it. Just keep doing it. And then it will get to a point where then you can do it and you understand it, and you'll be thankful that you kept doing it, instead of being like, especially in terms of a deadline, close to the deadline and going, oh my God, if I had started this earlier. I mean, you wouldn't feel like that if you hadn't got over the hill, but especially when I got over the hill and I was actually enjoying the work I was doing, I was like, oh yeah, because this equation and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I'd have really enjoyed this if I did this earlier. But I had that worry that I wasn't going to be able to do it well. And so that's why I'm saying now, I've learned from that, and I'd be like, that worry is pointless. And I sort of have the confidence to know that I will be able to do that. And so that's where I'm going to leave the video. It's going now. Thank you for watching if you've somehow made it this far. I don't yet believe that someone out there is making it to the end of these videos just because of how they are. But thank you for watching. Yeah.